They told us this was a media feud. They told us it was just opinions. But what just dropped into court makes it dead serious. Blake Lively, America's Hollywood darling, beloved A-lister, and red carpet royalty, is no longer just sparring. In headlines, she's now facing a legal war. And the bombshell came from none other than Candace Owens, the firebrand commentator and media disruptor who's taken on everyone from Meghan Markle to corporate America. But this time she's got Blake Lively square in her sights. Welcome to the chaos no one thought possible, a world where a Hollywood elite like Lively is suddenly neck-deep in a lawsuit that could destroy her brand, unravel her credibility, and rip open the very foundation of her carefully curated image. Why is Candace Owens suing? What set her off? Why is Blake reportedly furious behind the scenes? And why are legal insiders saying this could drag in Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift, and possibly major networks in the process? You're not going to believe how deep this goes. We're going to walk you through exactly what Owens is accusing Lively of, why this might not be a publicity stunt, and how this connects to the larger court battle already embroiling Lively and Justin Baldoni. And yes, there are text messages, recordings, leaks, and confidential memos that are reportedly already in motion as discovery begins. This is not just drama, this is war, and Candace Owens, she's coming for blood. Buckle up. It started with a rumor, a faint whisper circulating in online forums picked up by Reddit threads and a few fringe Substacks. At first it seemed like nothing, just another wild conspiracy in the Blake Lively Justin Baldoni saga, just more static in the noise chamber that had been engulfing Hollywood for the last several months. But within 48 hours it wasn't a rumor anymore, it was real, and it was explosive. Candace Owens, author, commentator, cultural critic, and no stranger to controversy, just filed a massive defamation and malicious interference lawsuit against Blake Lively. And insiders say it may not stop with her. Multiple named individuals and potential co-defendants are being assessed for discovery as Owens' legal team moves forward. And Blake, she didn't see this coming. The documents, which are now public, accuse Lively of intentional character assassination, collusion with media outlets, and private orchestration of targeted suppression campaigns meant to undermine, silence, and financially destabilize Candace Owens' brand, media ventures, and personal life. What? Yes, it's that serious. According to Owens, the issue stems from repeated and malicious attempts by Lively and her team to label Owens as dangerous, unstable, and unfit for media platforms. An allegation that, if proven, could shatter Lively's reputation as a feminist and humanitarian voice. But it goes deeper, much deeper. Legal analysts reviewing the claim are stunned by the sheer scale of the suit. Owens isn't just suing for damages. She's demanding public retraction, video apologies, access to private communications between Blake and alleged media collaborators. And here's the big one, an investigation into Blake's connection to the ongoing subpoena scandal that has rocked YouTube and TikTok. You see, Owens believes this wasn't just an issue of gossip or misunderstanding. She believes this was a coordinated takedown attempt rooted in Lively's alliances with powerful media PR machines and hidden corporate influencers, and she's not backing down. Her team has already subpoenaed documents from Universal, Vox Media, and even Blake's own management company. The court filings, which run nearly 200 pages, are a scathing takedown of Blake's supposed behind-the-scenes behavior. In them, Owens details an alleged campaign that included anonymous smear pieces pitched to liberal news outlets, whisper campaigns targeting Owens' podcast sponsors' efforts to blacklist Owens from mainstream TV appearances, leaks of false claims allegedly originating from Lively's circle. And what triggered this avalanche of legal chaos? It all traces back to one specific podcast episode. Owens released 6 months ago an episode in which she criticized the Hollywood elite for their hypocrisy and called out celebrities for using feminism as a shield while crushing dissent and promoting censorship. She didn't name Lively directly, not once, but fans of both women immediately clocked the subtext. Then came the fallout, subtle jabs in interviews, tweets from journalists calling Owens radical, sponsors pulling out. Owens says she lost nearly $3 million in ad revenue in less than 2 months. According to her team, the timing and targeting were too specific to be a coincidence. So what is Blake saying? Nothing, not a single word, at least not on the record. Her reps declined to comment to The Hollywood Chronicle, Deadline, TMZ, and Variety. That's not nothing, that's strategy, legal strategy. Silence in PR crises often signals panic or calculation. Either way, it's telling. But behind the scenes, it's a different story. According to insiders close to Lively's PR circle, Blake is absolutely furious. Reports say she's been screaming at her legal team, demanding to know how this got so out of hand. One assistant speaking anonymously said Blake was pacing, throwing things across the room, screaming about Candace being a liar and a danger to her family. It gets worse. Blake is allegedly pushing her attorneys to file an emergency protective order to seal all communication between her and publicists from Discovery. Legal analysts say this could backfire spectacularly if a judge interprets that request as an attempt to suppress relevant evidence. Says celebrity attorney Andrea Legrand, it could signal bad faith and make Lively look like she's hiding something. Legrand adds Candace's lawyers are coming in hot with a paper trail. If even one text confirms that Lively tried to suppress Owens' voice behind closed doors, this could blow up fast. While Blake Lively scrambles behind closed doors, Candace Owens is doing the exact opposite. She's gone on the offensive, launching a scorched earth campaign not just in court, but in the court of public opinion. And if Blake thought she could brush this off as a baseless lawsuit or online noise, she may have made a very big mistake. In the wake of the filing, Owens took to social media with a series of viral posts, tagging publications like The Cut, Vogue, and even People magazine directly. In one now infamous X, formerly Twitter thread, Owens wrote, "They call it defamation when you tell the truth that threatens their power." Blake Lively wants to play queenmaker and smear women who won't kneel. She's about to learn what accountability looks like. She didn't stop there. In her most recent podcast episode recorded just hours after the filing, Owens read excerpts from the lawsuit on air and hinted at what's coming next. "Let's be clear," she said. "This is not just about one woman and her ego. This is about a network of powerful people who believe they can manipulate the public and destroy reputations without consequences." Well, not anymore. She even suggested that Lively isn't the only one who should be worried. Owens confirmed her team is preparing to serve subpoenas to several media executives, influencer agents, and yes, a handful of high-profile celebrities who allegedly participated in or benefited from the coordinated hit against her. Who's next? Owens names, though she's playing coy for now, legal analysts believe. Owens is setting her sights on PR mogul Kelly Bush Novak, who reps numerous A-listers and was once tied to a smear campaign against conservative creators. Former GQ editor Garrett Muntz, who's been connected to several quietly pulled features on Owens over the years. Embrace yourself, Ryan Reynolds. Yes, Ryan Reynolds. Why? According to insiders close to the case, Owens' legal team believes Reynolds was at least aware of, if not directly involved in, a behind-the-scenes effort to cancel Owens in elite Hollywood circles following her public criticism of Lively. There are whispers of a group text thread between Blake Ryan, a major fashion magazine editor, and a Netflix executive, where Owens' name allegedly came up alongside terms like liability, toxicity, and don't platform. If that group chat exists and Discovery brings it into evidence, Blake and Ryan could be looking at a joint PR nightmare, and it's not just speculation anymore. Owens' attorney Thomas Grennan confirmed in an interview with The Spectator that their team is prepared to request metadata, email chains, and cloud backups if necessary through subpoena. "We believe this was not a random string of bad luck or harsh words. This was a coordinated suppression attempt, and we intend to follow the facts wherever they lead," Grennan said. Hollywood reacts. The silence is deafening as the lawsuit made headlines. The usual flow of celebrity support that often rushes to defend Blake Lively was conspicuously absent. No Taylor Swift tweets, no Gigi Hadid reposts, no Reese Witherspoon messages of solidarity. Instead, silence. And in Hollywood, silence is a siren. It tells you exactly who's watching their own backs. One longtime entertainment publicist put it bluntly: everyone is in self-preservation mode. The documents Owens submitted were surgical. She didn't just accuse Blake, she outlined how these networks operate. Nobody wants to be the next one exposed. A notable exception came from actress and outspoken conservative Gina Carano, who reposted Owens' thread and added, "Now this is going to be interesting." Several right-wing influencers, including Ben Shapiro and Megyn Kelly, have also voiced support for Owens, warning that this may be a turning point in how Hollywood wields soft power behind the scenes. Meanwhile, prominent liberal outlets have remained strangely cautious. Even Variety's original coverage of the lawsuit avoided framing Owens as far-right, a term frequently attached to her name. This shift in tone is telling. Nobody wants to get subpoenaed next. Blake's inner circle begins to fracture. While Blake has stayed silent, her team is reportedly in full-blown crisis management mode, not just legally but internally. Sources from two different agencies say her longtime stylist, assistants, and even a PR strategist have been quietly distancing themselves or refusing to issue statements. "There's this energy in her camp right now," one insider said, "like they're waiting for the next shoe to drop." Even more telling, a veteran Vanity Fair contributor revealed that a planned August cover story on Blake and her upcoming projects has now been postponed indefinitely. Following ongoing legal complications, it's the kind of soft cancellation Hollywood does when they know something might explode. And if Blake thought she could rely on longtime allies like Taylor Swift, she might be in for disappointment. A recent blind item on Dumois strongly hinted that a pop icon was advised to put distance between herself and a former close friend. Due to escalating legal fallout, the clues were obvious, and they point straight at Taylor. This doesn't mean the friendship is over, but it does mean the stakes have changed. Swift, who has her own billion-dollar empire to protect, isn't about to risk being dragged into a defamation and suppression case, especially one involving political ideology and the suppression of Black voices. And yes, Candace Owens has already played the race card in a calculated and provocative way, asking on air, would this kind of smear campaign have been launched against a white woman with liberal views? Or is it just Black women who challenge the system that get destroyed? Booms, the narrative is shifting. What began as a fringe civil filing is now a full-on political firestorm, threatening to burn down reputations and expose Hollywood's hidden power structures. Inside Blake Lively's inner sanctum, the panic is palpable. Multiple sources close to her legal team are confirming what fans and media watchers had suspected. Lively has initiated a full-scale legal lockdown. That means sealed documents, emergency filings, and confidential strategy meetings taking place, not in Hollywood boardrooms but in private homes with phones locked in Faraday bags. The level of secrecy alone is raising eyebrows. One entertainment lawyer who formerly worked for Blake's talent agency put it bluntly, this isn't about protecting innocence. This is about scrambling to contain a narrative that's already slipping through her fingers. According to leaked internal emails obtained by a whistleblower from Blake's PR firm, Lively's team is trying to get ahead of Candace Owens by preparing their own countersuit. The alleged grounds harassment, character defamation, and what they describe as malicious media manipulation. It's ironic. That's almost exactly what Owens is accusing Lively of. Insiders say this aggressive approach is designed to intimidate Owens into either dropping the suit or settling quickly, but Owens' team seems unfazed. Her lawyer released a public statement on X just hours after the leak, stating, "We will not be bullied into silence. These tactics may work in the Hollywood echo chamber, but they don't fly in federal court." What's clear is that Lively's team is terrified of discovery. If Candace's lawsuit is allowed to proceed unchecked, the courts will have the right to comb through Blake's text, emails, Slack messages, private group chats, burner phone logs, and more. That could mean serious exposure, not just for her but for anyone she's communicated with about Candace Owens behind the scenes. This is why her attorneys are reportedly preparing to request a protective order to limit what discovery can include. But legal experts say that could backfire and only make the judge more suspicious. When you ask to hide your digital footprint, courts want to know why, says legal analyst Vivian Carrera. If Owens' team can show even one message that suggests Blake tried to silence or damage her behind the scenes, this protective order could be denied and worse, interpreted as obstruction. Worse still for Lively, the leak of an alleged text exchange between her and a Netflix executive is already in circulation among industry insiders. While the texts have not yet been verified in court, the contents, if proven real, could change the trajectory of this entire case. Here's what the alleged leak shows. Blake texting she Owens is a problem. Don't amplify her, especially not this month. Netflix exec responds, "We pulled the invite. No press, no audio, quiet kill, Blake perfect. No more visibility, just let her spiral on her own." These messages, which allegedly date back to the days after Owens' controversial podcast episode went viral, seem to suggest a deliberate effort to sabotage Owens' media presence. Candace's team has already confirmed they are aware of the leak and intend to submit the content into evidence if authenticated. If even one of those messages is confirmed, this stops being about hearsay or speculation. It becomes a deliberate act, the pattern of suppression, and that is exactly what Owens is claiming. Can Blake survive this PR expert's way and outside of court? Lively's image is taking a hit and fast. We spoke with several public relations crisis consultants in Los Angeles and New York. All of them agreed on one thing: Blake Lively is in uncharted waters. This isn't like a cheating scandal or a brand mishap, said Sarah Chun, CEO of Lumiere Crisis Management. This is ideological warfare. Candace has the right-wing base behind her, but more than that, she's positioning herself as a free speech martyr. That's bad news for Blake, who has historically been seen as a darling of liberal feminism and socially conscious causes, but the optics now not great, especially when the New York Times is quietly sitting this one out, especially when magazines like Elle and Harper's Bazaar are pausing scheduled features and press tours involving Lively. Why? Because according to one major editor, nobody wants to be seen platforming someone who might be caught trying to suppress a black woman's voice, especially not in this climate. It's a complete PR nightmare. Lively's Every Woman appeal is built on approachability, advocacy, and authenticity. But now she's being painted as vindictive, elitist, and manipulative accusations that cut directly against her brand. One former stylist even came forward anonymously telling Page Six there's a side to Blake the public doesn't see. She's smart, calculating, and controls every word said about her. People always thought it was charming, now not so much. This could be bigger than Depp v. Heard. Some media observers are already drawing comparisons to the infamous Johnny Depp v. Amber Heard trial, but this time the stakes may be even higher. Why? Because this isn't just a he said she said story. This is a civil battle between two media titans, with the entire entertainment and influencer industry watching nervously from the sidelines. The Depp-Heard trial became a referendum on toxic relationships and media manipulation. But the Owens-Lively case is shaping up to be a culture war over free speech, elitism, and the weaponization of fame. Owens is framing herself as a victim of Hollywood cancel culture. Blake is, whether fairly or not, being cast as one of its most ruthless architects. And the kicker, there may be dozens of influencers, journalists, executives, and brands pulled into this storm before it's over. If subpoenas go out to TikTok creators, journalists, fashion, PR people, this could implode the entire celebrity media pipeline, warns Taylor Briggs, a former publicist for A24. People have no idea how much of Hollywood's clean image is smoke and mirrors, and this lawsuit could rip the curtain down just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more chaotic. Candace Owens dropped another bombshell at the tail end of a surprise appearance on Megyn Kelly's podcast. Owens revealed that her legal team will soon introduce two new witnesses, individuals described only as former Hollywood insiders with direct knowledge of the smear campaign. She didn't name names, but said the witnesses include a former digital strategist who allegedly worked on multiple campaigns designed to deplatform political undesirables, and a former executive assistant to a celebrity PR firm allegedly tied to Blake Lively's team. According to Owens, both have signed sworn affidavits and are expected to testify if the case proceeds to trial. And while that's already sending shockwaves through the industry, she didn't stop there. Owens told Kelly, "We are not done. We are reviewing evidence for a second lawsuit, one that targets not just individuals but media entities that knowingly participated in character assassination." This is huge. If Owens expands her legal battle beyond Blake Lively, it could ignite a legal and cultural reckoning across the entertainment news world. Insiders believe she may be preparing to go after a major entertainment magazine that published a now-deleted sources say hit piece on Owens just days after her podcast went viral. A fashion platform that dropped Owens from a brand partnership last minute, citing image misalignment. And a digital marketing firm linked to a number of influencers who amplified anti-Owens narratives on Instagram and X. It's clear Owens is not just going after Blake, she's taking on the entire machine. And that machine, it's starting to sweat. The social media fallout, who's unfollowing who in Hollywood, silence is loud, and unfollows their seismic. Fans noticed almost immediately Blake Lively's Instagram following list suddenly no longer includes several key names. Within 48 hours of the lawsuit, news breaking: Gigi Hadid unfollowed Blake. Lena Dunham, who once called Lively a force for creative empowerment, removed Blake from her followers. Zendaya reportedly made her account private and scrubbed several photos featuring Blake from her tagged posts. Even more telling, several fashion brand accounts, including a major Paris label that worked with Lively on a custom campaign last fall, have archived all Blake-related posts. Meanwhile, Candace Owens has seen a surge of support online, with hashtag Candace1 trending across X, TikTok, and YouTube. Conservative creators, First Amendment activists, and even some liberal free speech advocates have rallied behind her. And the memes endless. One viral TikTok with over 1.7 million views captioned a Blake interview clip with the words, "When you realize suppressing dissent can actually cost you everything. The secret deal: Blake's hidden ties to a media outlet. If Candace Owens' team was looking for a smoking gun, they may have just found it." According to a leaked invoice, an email chain exposed by a whistleblower, Blake Lively's PR team entered into a private paid partnership agreement with a major entertainment outlet 6 months ago. The contract allegedly promised exclusive, positive coverage and targeted negative sentiment framing for hostile voices. The language is damning. Owens' team reportedly has access to the documents and intends to introduce them during pre-trial hearings. The emails show a PR exec promising Blake will take care of the Owens problem. A media staffer replying already got the green light to reframe the story. Won't mention her name, but she'll get buried. These communications could prove a deliberate media conspiracy, a nightmare for Blake and anyone complicit. And if the outlet in question receives a subpoena, which Owens' team has already requested, we could be looking at the digital equivalent of Watergate. Blake's legal team is reportedly furious. Her lawyers are preparing to file an objection to suppress the documents, citing unauthorized access and breach of privacy, but legal analysts say the chain of custody appears to be intact, and that the court may allow it. If these emails are authentic, warns media law expert Jonah Redfield, this case is no longer about rumors. This becomes a full-scale takedown of how Hollywood power operates behind the curtain. More celebrities feeling the heat. The ripple effects are already reaching beyond Lively. Rumors are swirling that multiple A-list stars are being advised to wipe their phones clean, change email passwords, and consult legal counsel in case they're pulled into discovery. To names that keep coming up: Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, whose alleged knowledge of the Owens silencing strategy may come under scrutiny. One tabloid even claimed Ryan's agents are looking at damage control options immediately. Reese Witherspoon, she's been loosely connected to a now controversial text chain involving multiple female actors allegedly coordinating PR moves during the peak of Owens' backlash. If authenticated, that group chat alone could become a scandal of its own. Meanwhile, a recently leaked video from a Netflix set shows crew members joking about the Lively lawsuit, with one sarcastically calling her the queen of quiet cancel culture. The video is now circulating on Reddit with millions of views and thousands of furious comments. Blake, once seen as untouchable, is now becoming the symbol of elite hypocrisy in a growing number of online spaces, and it's only getting worse. In a town built on illusion, reputation is everything. For years, Blake Lively mastered the art of balance, America's sweetheart, the witty wife of Ryan Reynolds, the red carpet goddess who could shift between luxury fashion and relatable mom vibes without missing a beat. But now that entire persona is on fire. Candace Owens' lawsuit is no longer just a legal maneuver. It's a mirror, one that's reflecting back something much darker about how Hollywood operates behind closed doors, something the public has long suspected but never fully seen. And if even a fraction of the documents, leaks, or testimony turns out to be real, this won't be a one-off scandal, it'll be a paradigm shift. Because this isn't about liking or disliking Owens, it's about power, about control, about the terrifying ease with which fame can be weaponized, not just to uplift but to destroy. Owens is challenging the idea that the Hollywood elite get to decide who is heard and who is erased. And she's doing it with the same audacity that once made Lively so beloved, on her own terms, unafraid and out in the open. For Blake, the fallout may be irreversible. Brands are distancing themselves. Friends are going silent. Legal pressure is mounting, and the internet, it never forgets. The narrative she so carefully constructed over decades is now unraveling in real time. And she's not the one telling the story anymore. What happens next is anyone's guess. Will Blake settle behind closed doors to make this all disappear? Will Owens force this into a courtroom under the harshest possible spotlight? Will Ryan Reynolds or Taylor Swift get pulled into the storm? Or will this explode into a full-scale media trial that redefines celebrity accountability forever? One thing is certain: the myth of untouchable Hollywood royalty is dying, the velvet rope is fraying, and the cameras, they're rolling, not for a film, but for a reckoning. And as Blake Lively watches the empire she built begin to buckle under the weight of accusation, silence, and strategy gone wrong, Candace Owens is doing something that terrifies every carefully curated celebrity machine in Los Angeles. She's telling her story, she's naming names, and she's not backing down. This time the script isn't written by Hollywood. This time the real drama is in the courtroom. And for once, the spotlight's glare is not flattering.